apparently the legend goes, St. Justinian was St. David's confessor. He came to St. David's, but he didn't like living in the city because everybody was too debaucherous. And at the time, Ramsey was still connected to the mainland by a land bridge. So St. Justinian took his axe and he chopped away the land bridge. And as he got closer and closer to the island, his axe got blunter and blunter, and he left behind these rocks, which are now known as the Bitches. So he decided that he was going to come to Ramsey and live on Ramsey in peace, separate from the debaucherous people of St. David's. I think telling people that I'm the warden of an island usually sparks a lot of questions and a lot of discussion. Like, I guess it's quite an interesting job, especially for somebody who's maybe never been to Ramsey and doesn't really know how that whole lifestyle works. So yeah, usually people are really curious and just want to know more about it and are really interested. It's always a good conversation starter for sure. So my friends that I grew up with think I'm bonkers. Like, they think I'm completely crazy, and like they'll tell stories about their weird friend that lives on an island with birds. You don't see people as much as you would maybe sometimes like to, so I guess that's like the downside of living on the island, is that I don't get to live with my partner, which I was doing previously, and I don't get to just like pop out and see my friends and my family whenever I want. So that's like a big difference, I guess. You know, most people who live on the mainland can see their friends and family whenever they feel like it. I've not seen my partner for about 2.5 weeks, I think, so it'd be quite nice to go and see him. Also, I miss my dogs, possibly more than I miss him actually, but don't tell him that. I moved here because of Ramsey, so I actually met him because of Ramsey as well. So when I was working here 10 years ago, he was the boat skipper, and you don't meet many men when you live on an island, so I was like, you'll do. No, not really. He's very nice. We got together and still are, which is very good really, because he was quite understanding when I then announced that I'm going to go and live on Ramsey for 9 months of every year. There's a lot of people who would maybe not put up with that announcement from their partner, but he was very nice about it. It is a long distance relationship. I think you have to see it as that, and I think I'm very lucky that he's very patient and he's willing to put up with that, because I think a lot of people wouldn't be. You know, you can't expect to not see somebody for a month and then for everything to be exactly the same. I mean, life on islands has changed quite a lot in the last 10 years even, because now there's phone signal and we can get Wi-Fi. I remember even just 10 years ago when I was out here, like, you had to climb the hill just to get enough phone signal to make one phone call. So it was all just like a bit more isolated and a bit more stressful, whereas now I can sit in my bed and watch Netflix. It's just a bit like being on the mainland, I suppose. But it's definitely not for everybody. And we've certainly had volunteers come onto the island thinking, oh brilliant, a week on Ramsey, this is going to be the perfect experience, get away from it all. And actually after a couple of days being like, no, I don't like this, and wanting to go home, because I think for some people they find that isolation quite stressful. They sort of, I don't know what it is, because I guess I don't really get it, because I love it. I think if you've got an overactive imagination, it might not be very good for you. Like, if you're the kind of person that's going to start hearing noises and thinking about ghosts or, like, you know, the spirits of dead monks or something, then maybe spending a night on your own on Ramsey is not for you. Especially at night, when you know that you're the only person on the whole island and there's this stretch of water between you and any other human. It's really cool. I really enjoy it. Like, I get to live here. Like, it's pretty special. You know, I get to call this place home. I just always think, like, this is such a special experience. You know, who else gets to do stuff like this? It's amazing. And I think it's really important to remember that, like, how lucky you are sometimes. And I definitely think living here reminds me of how lucky I am on a pretty much daily basis, especially because I then get visitors coming over being like, oh my God, it's so peaceful, it's so lovely. So you're constantly reminded by other people as well how lucky you are, which is really nice. I think my absolute favourite thing is how much my entire life is dictated by the weather, the tides, the seasons, like what the birds are doing. It just feels really nice. It's nice that every day is different and it's all dictated by things that are out of my control, and I quite enjoy that. I think it's really special. Because I think living on the mainland, it's really easy to get completely disconnected from that, from the natural world, from what the earth is doing, without sounding too hippie. I think on Ramsey you are connected to it, and I think that's a really nice feeling, and I think it's my favourite thing.